Industrial Talk is brought to you by Palo Alto Networks. You've heard me talk about my friends at Palo Alto Networks, Zero Trust OT Security, delivering a comprehensive security solution for all OT assets, networks, and remote operations. But did you know that the Palo Alto Network solution provides over 1,100 app IDs for OT protocols, over 500 profiles for critical OT assets, and over 650 OT-specific threat signatures? Now that's best-in-class security delivered. Learn more about Palo Alto Network's Zero Trust OT security solutions and how you can achieve 351% ROI over 5 years. Learn more about the Palo Alto Network solution by going out to paloaltonetworks.com. That's paloaltonetworks.com.
Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott MacKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, once again, welcome to Industrial Talk, a platform dedicated to industrial professionals all around the world, and that's you. I'm pointing at you at the video camera. You are bold, you are brave, you dare greatly, you innovate, you collaborate, you solve problems. You are making the world a better place. That's why we celebrate you on Industrial Talk, and we are broadcasting here at SMRP 31st Annual Conference. Yes, next year is going to be 32. And if you're not here at 31, you need to put 32 on your calendar because it is a collection of individuals, professionals who are in reliability, asset management, and maintenance, all dedicated to you solving problems. And if you're in that world, you need to be here. You need to go out to smrp.org. smrp.org should be your first stop because they have symposiums, they have other conferences, they have, doggone it, they have affiliates, you name it, smrp.org. SME, that's another one, smrp.org. And you get to meet people like Heather and Mark. Chris. They're in the hot seat. Chris? You're Chris?
Chris.
Take two. No, we're going to roll with that one. Chris, I thought it was Mark.
No, it's Chris.
What a bozo.
That's okay.
You know, it's out of just respect.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's not a gloss over.
I look like a Mark.
You do. I look like a Steve. Everybody used to call me Steve, Chris. Let me get rid of this Mark, Chris.
Mark it off.
Mark it off. Get rid of Mark. You guys having a good conference?
Awesome.
Yeah?
Yes.
What makes it awesome?
All the different people here collaborating to make things better in the industrial world of things.
Yeah. You agree with that there, Chris?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm going to keep on saying Chris.
Chris, yeah, it's meeting all the different people in the different worlds of the reliability world. So,
yeah, how long you been with the AssetWatch?
We've both been with the company about a little over 2 years.
Yeah,
still young.
Still young. The company's been around for 10 years, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's been around for 10 years. It just rebranded this year. So
rebranded?
It was formerly known as Nikola Labs. And it started off as a different technology and then went into the wireless vibration sensor technology. So that's kind of where we're at now. And the first application wasn't actually out in the field until 2019. Oh. So it's actually very new.
Is it really?
Yeah.
And you guys are right at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
The beginning.
Yeah, but the company's growing super fast. Coming out with new technology for the company. Under the AssetWatch logo, so we offer a continuous monitoring, and then we just implemented an oil analysis program that ties into our software, and then a collect application for your less critical.
There's not a test on this. Is there a test on this?
No. There's no test.
No test.
We want to cover all the bases with the facilities and make sure that we accomplish their goals.
All right, before we get into the conversation, Heather, we're going to start with you.
Perfect.
Give us a little background on who you are.
I'm Heather Lovero. I'm from Chicago, and I started in industrial manufacturing, actually in the steel industry. And so I went from working in the plants to then finding a way to, help the plants go from that preventative to more predictive state, utilizing the newest technology out there today. So now I'm on the other side of things, working with the facilities I worked with in the past.
Steel. Stelco and DeFasco, did you ever go up there?
No, I didn't. No, I was...
That's the only steel place I really know. But Hamilton.
But no, it's awesome. So we get to work with all the, people I used to work with and help them improve their processes at AssetWatch.
There you go. All right, Chris, formerly known as Mark.
Mark, yeah. So, my name's Chris Becker. I'm the actual title is a Senior Condition Monitoring Engineer, fancy name for vibration analyst. But I'm Cat 3 certified vibration analyst.
Cat 3, I was just getting ready. What cat are you?
Cat 3.
Cat 3.
Yeah, I've got about 13.
If you were Mark, you would be Cat 4.
Yeah, I got about 13 years in the reliability industry. Most of my experience has been in the vibration field. Before I came to AssetWatch, I worked as a service provider where I went out and did a lot of route data collection. I was a certified laser shaft alignment trainer for the last company I worked for. Ton of experience, field balance and rotors, RDI motion amplification, thermography. So that's
look at you. You're just the walking conference.
Yeah,
you just spouted off a bunch of things that
Jack of all trades here.
Yeah, you just spouted off a bunch of things like, yeah, I know that. Yep,
I've been fortunate. I've been fortunate to learn a lot of different things. So
clearly,
yeah.
Now I feel so inadequate. So, give us. Now we're talking primarily about vibration, but you guys do a lot more than that, right?
We're mainly in the vibration industry, vibration and temperature, and then as of recent, we're getting into oil analysis. We hired a lubrication manager, and he's really a lubrication expert, and developed this oil program. So I'm actually really excited about that. But yeah,
how does it differ? How does it differ from all the other oil? You see, here's the challenge. You go up and down these, and it's all great and it's wonderful technology. Because I'm a simpleton, I have difficulty seeing the difference between, hey, that's oil analysis. I get it. Yep. Lube those bearings. Got to make sure. Here's another one.
Right. Yeah, so with oil analysis and really a lubrication program, it goes hand in hand with vibration very well. Specifically, we just had a really good win at a steel facility where I
thank you, Heather.
Yeah, one of the customers that I manage that I really I look at their vibration data and call out issues that I see, and give them recommendations on things to check. But it was on a recoiler gearbox, and I was seeing a gear mesh issue, high gear mesh frequency with sidebands indicating a gear wear, And I asked them when the last time that they had done an oil analysis, pulled a sample for this gearbox, and it had been 2 years. So long story short, we went in there and pulled a sample, figured out that the oil was extremely dirty, but that wasn't the main factor. The main factor was that we found that they were running the wrong viscosity oil for that application. And they couldn't shut the gearbox down for like 3 months to change the oil because it takes a long time to do that.
Ho! You just said 3 months to change the oil?
They couldn't shut the application down. The line.
Oh, I got you.
They didn't have an outage plan for like another 3 months to actually do this type of work. And so what they did is they filtered the oil and got the oil much cleaner. And the gear mesh started to look better, but it was still there. And long story short, once they were able to drain the oil out and change and put in the proper 320 viscosity oil, all the gear mesh frequencies went away. So it was a pretty cool find for our first time really getting into the oil analysis. So the oil analysis on the PF curve, you talk about oil analysis will catch things before vibration, and that's true in some things. It just depends on the fault of what you're trying to find. Vibration will catch certain things before oil will, depending on whether it's a structural issue or an alignment issue. But oil is going to catch like potentially bearing or gear problems well before vibration can sometimes.
So we have a lot of devices out there. The vibration devices, this, that, and the other thing.
Absolutely.
Will it eventually, and this is just a question to you, just a question to you, will it eventually change vibration and your role in vibration?
That's a great question. A lot of people are focused on AI. Is that kind of what you're going with?
Yeah, because these devices are able to predict or see some vibration. I don't know. It's just because your skills are so unique.
Yeah.
Can that be translated into something?
I think it can, and I think it will be eventually. I still think that we're years away from it to be 100% accurate, but I think we'll get there eventually. I still think that you're going to need vibration analysts to, there's always issues out there that really need deep dive, like you really need to go in and do more things than it just being a structural looseness or a bearing going out, or, like resonance, for example. I mean, resonance is, sometimes it's really easy to take care of a resonance issue, and sometimes it's not, because there could be resonant frequencies in multiple parts of the structure, different resonant frequencies. But I think there's a potential that, we could get taken out of the equation, but I think that there's still going to be a need eventually,
But you being a Cat 3, you're pretty safe.
I would like to think so. A lot of people really, there's a ton of sensor companies out there. We're one of them. And, all the sensor companies are really trying to advertise AI and AI, machine learning. And, we have that as well. But the way it really works on our side of things is we utilize the AI and the machine learning to really help us manage on what we're looking at. Our solution doesn't send an automated alert out to a customer that from AI. It's actually a Cat 3 or Cat 4 analyst looking at the data and then writing up a prescriptive recommendation.
All right, so Heather, we're sitting here that we're, again, collecting information, collecting data, vibration, loop, all of that stuff. We're doing what we need to do from that perspective. Does AssetWatch have a platform to be able to display it? How do I then? I'm pulling all that information. Now what?
Now what?
Yeah.
We set you up for success is what we do at AssetWatch. We basically, when we did the name change from Nikola Labs to AssetWatch, that's because we're providing you...
I can understand it. Thank you.
The reason why is because we want to provide one platform to make it really easy for facilities to see all the different, things that are making their assets have the best health. So we're tying in one platform for an individual facility, exactly what we're monitoring. We're providing them the vibration, the temperature, the oil results, all the important factors, soon to be, other product offerings as well that are going to be in one platform that everyone has access to, and it's really user-friendly. So then we just basically dedicate a team to partner with them and train them on how to use it and keep in touch with them and collaborate and ensure the success of the program and resolving those, asset faults that we find together as quickly as possible, and then have that ROI.
When we start talking about the monitoring of these assets, and okay, we've got this, is there an automated approach to your loop program where you're saying, hey, I'm seeing some bad data. Let's see if we can remotely. So
that's definitely how we operate. We do most of everything remotely unless we go on site for training. And what we do is all of our oil results come right into our platform from our lab, and we're going to lay out exactly what we're seeing in that oil analysis report, right? We're going to provide you with the hard copy of the report right on that asset page, but then also the key metrics like the wear particle content, the viscosity, the water contamination. And then what we do at AssetWatch that makes us different, and you were asking earlier, what sets us apart? Yeah. There's so many different options out there today. Is we're partnering with you in interpreting the data. We're not just providing threshold alerts. We're literally going to tell you what's going on, how we're going to fix it together, and following it through the process. And we do the same thing with the oil program. You have an oil expert, and they're going to walk with you through it. We found, this has, the wrong fluid, right? Let's correct it. And we're going to work through that together and ensure that every time we pull a sample, it's getting better and better that each and every time.
Now, Chris, we're talking about the data and collecting the data. How quickly can I get some prescriptive direction from AssetWatch? Because time is always of the essence.
Yeah,
and if you have an escalating fault or failure potentially because it's outside of the parameters of whatever the algorithm might be, how quickly can we turn this stuff around?
So that's a great question. So typically how it works with our solution is when our team installs sensors, then we dedicate a CME like myself to start looking at the data, and we do a deep dive in all of the data, and try to find faults, whether it might be misalignment, or it looks like, you got a bearing defect in this motor, or whatever it might be. And so we write up a maintenance recommendation and we email those out as necessary. There's also an automated weekly report that goes out every Monday. But then what we typically do is we meet with the customer, and they have the option, once we write up the maintenance alert, the maintenance recommendation, they can communicate through the software to us. We also can integrate into their CMMS where it automatically creates a work order. They get a work order, they close the work order and put in notes of what they did, and then we get a notification on our end. However, just yesterday, with some AI in the software, I got a notification that this huge, it's a rotary shear, and it's shearing steel, and the vibration shot up within the last 24 hours. And so I start looking at the data, and it looks like a possible rotating clearance issue in the bearing. Maybe the inner race spun on the shaft or something. So I wrote up a maintenance recommendation, emailed it out, and since I'm concerned about this and I think it could fail, I actually called the customer, and I spoke with them, and they actually went out immediately and addressed the issue. And they actually bore scoped it, and they found the bearing looked okay. And they moved the sensor and made sure that the sensor was placed in the right location. But then again, today I looked at it, the vibration went down a little bit, but it's still higher. I still think they have an issue. And I'm working with them through email right now to kind of give them an update. So
real time, baby.
It's real time. It's definitely real time. Weekends, if people need help, they're reaching out. Yeah, you got to be there at any time they need your help.
Here's a scenario. It's like once the condition is in black and white, right? Mm-hmm. Then the company needs to do something about it,
right,
or possibly, or plan,
correct,
or whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anybody that says, I don't want to know?
There's all different facilities and people out there. The goal is to get them to want to collaborate.
Yeah.
Give them key metrics to try and, take advantage of, and then just congratulate them on the wins.
Yeah, and I think one of the challenges too is that vibration's been around for a long time, but there's people that believe it. There's people that think it's voodoo, and it just depends on who you're talking to. And a lot of people, you have to earn their trust.
Like me, it's squiggly lines.
Yeah, how do you know what's going on here? A lot of people ask me, like, what is the baseline when you start monitoring this data? And I'm like, the baseline is whatever it is. There's all different types of equipment out there, and there's ISO standards for how equipment should run, but you can have two of the same type of, two pumps that are right next to each other. One might run a little bit rougher than the other one from a little bit of cavitation or whatever. And I'm not going to be throwing alarms out there for a little bit of cavitation when it can run like that for a long time, and not have any issues. And a lot of people are like, they address some things. They're like, it's been running like this for years. But the goal is to really try to prevent unplanned downtime, try to make your equipment last as long as possible, and just collaborate. Communication is really the key.
Yeah. I always get down to it. It's always people.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really never the technology to a certain extent. It's
right,
always the people and their willingness to have that dialogue and embrace it, right? Embrace the necessity to make sure that. But in the world of steel, right, you better have that asset up and running.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Did those programs, they must be just solid.
It's definitely a change in culture depending on what facilities you're going into, where they're at with the different levels of reliability. So you really have to cater to every facility's unique, current set.
Well,
and it takes a lot. It takes a lot, but it's worth it in the long run, and everyone's going to be doing it sooner than later. It's just when they're going to do it. It's the way of the world to stay on top of things. I hear people all the time talk about going from preventative to predictive, but we need to get our PM program in place, and it's got to be better. But really, in the long grand scheme of things, you don't need to wait for that PM program. Just implement the new technology, start utilizing it, and bring it all together to be successful.
What I get a sense, and what is exciting for me, is that there's a greater, I think that people are embracing it a little bit more. I've been around in industry for some time, and it's like, we're going to be a reliability shop, and it falls apart like 1 hour after somebody says it, right? And now we're back to reactive. But I think nowadays, given the challenges that are taking place within the economy, boom, I think it's something that is a necessity.
Time to make a change.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, it is.
Be a
You
leader.
said the C word. change.
Everybody's got to do it one day.
Oh, that's one thing that's about life. It's change all the time.
That's right.
All right, how do people get a hold of you?
Call me, Heather,
So
at AssetWatch, AssetWatch.com.
yeah, her email is hlovero@assetwatch.com. Mine is C as in Chris Becker
Formerly known as Mark.
at assetwatch.com.
Ever so quickly.
Yeah.
We have a great sales team here to help you whenever anybody's ready to start
Nice.
saving money and improving uptime.
I love it. Look at that, man. You guys got that down pat. All right,
right.
we're going to have all the contact information for Heather and Chris out on Industrial Talk. You guys are active on LinkedIn?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
No, there it is. We're going to have their LinkedIn stat card out there, too, as well. Go out to Industrial Talk, reach out, boom. You will not be disappointed with these two professionals. All right, we're broadcasting once again from SMRP 31's annual conference. It's bigger, better, stronger, faster than it has ever been, and it is time. It is time for you to be engaged. So go out to smrp.org. Be a part of the solution and not just listen. Be a part of it because they have it all out there at smrp.org. So make it happen. We're going to wrap it up on the other side.
you.
Thank you very much for
Thank you.
joining
Great
Industrial
time
Talk.
here.
We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
All right, that's Heather. And that's Chris. That was AssetWatch at SMRP 31. Again, if you're in the business of asset management, reliability, maintenance, you need to be a part of SMRP. Go out to smrp.org. All right, Industrial Talk is a platform to amplify your voice, your industrial voice, for opportunity and just solving problems and collaborating with other like-minded professionals who are truly interested in solving today's industrial challenges. Go out to Industrial Talk. Click on Connect with Me. You'd connect with me. And well, let's have a conversation of how you can amplify your voice on this particular platform because you need to succeed. Let's make that happen. Be bold, be brave, dare greatly. Hang out with Chris and Heather. Change the world. We're going to have another great conversation coming from SMRP shortly.